Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Teamworks. We have a great session for you, planned for you today, really fun. But before I go into describing the self-esteem and healthy relationships activities, again, remember we're in the self-esteem and healthy relationships phase. We should feel like we're in a safe place now to start having great discussion and getting to know our kids. So I want to do a little housekeeping, do some friendly reminders. So remember, you don't have to do all the activities. Remember, you have the freedom to slice it, dice it, chop it up, do whatever you want with your kids, because it's about cultivating relationships with your kids. Our activities are merely just prompts or an outline for you to follow, right? So you don't have to do all the activities. Spend time talking with your kids. So when we're giving those prompts and all the little fun things that we're doing, look for those opportunities to, have some great healthy discussion and focus on getting to know your kids, all right? So just some friendly reminders, because that's where we should be right now in our mentoring kind of phase, where we're at right now. The forming and storming is over. We should be at the norming and performing phase, all right? Remember that from training? So just some friendly reminders. Now we're going to go into our activities. So as I mentioned to you before, self-esteem and healthy relationship phase. So previously we talked about how your self-esteem affects your actions, right? You guys remember that, and we did 2 activities about how your self-esteem affects your actions. We're taking it up a notch. Now we're going to have a discussion, so that's our objective, to kind of explore and have a discussion on how one's values affects their decisions, right? How one's values affect your decisions. And ultimately, I can get a drum roll here, how our values determine our way of life. So our values affect our decisions, and then overall, our values determine our way of life. Really profound, but really true at the end of the day, right? So we're going to start this whole discussion by throwing out a real whopper of a question. And this one really is about values, right? And kind of your character. So you're going to throw this question out to them. So remember, we want to take off our adult hat, keep on our middle school hat. So keep this in mind before you come to session. But here's the question we're going to throw out to our young folks. Could you be friends with someone who was unattractive, or your friends found attractive? So maybe, they're like, that's not an issue for them, but because they want to fit in and be accepted, they're going with the group, they're going with their peers. And maybe they're alienating or being mean-spirited to someone who they feel is unattractive. Great discussion, great question when we're talking about how your values affect your decisions and your way of life, right? So, good, fun question for you to really spark some good conversation. So be prepared to handle that one. It should be fun. If it were me, I probably could talk, a whole session about that question. So now we're going to go into our Energizer. Again, our Energizer is all about values. It's about value trading. It feels like we're playing a stock market game, and we kind of are. I'm going to try to explain it really simply. All right? There are going to be 3 rounds to this game. You first of all are going to start off with a bag or an envelope. More than likely we're going to give you a bag, and it's going to have about 20-30 values in it. Okay, so you got this bag. We're going to still sit in a circle, and you're going to distribute this bag and ask all your students, each of your students, to choose 3 values blindly now. Just ask them to put their hand in there, dig in. They can't read and go, oh, I want to put that one back. Just blindly pick 3, all right? So maybe we should fold them up and put it in there so they really don't have that chance to kind of see it as they're peeking in the bag. So they'll pick 3, so I'm going to go ahead and pick my 3 really quickly. I pick my 1, 2, 3. I see I picked them blindly. And then now you're going to distribute $100. They'll be in probably about $10 or $20 denominations, but evenly everybody will have $100. So now they have their $100, they have their 3 values, and round 1, ding, 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 you have about 5 or 10 minutes. Keep it kind of loose. You're going to say to them, you've got 5 to 10 minutes now to barter, trade, or negotiate your values. So let's say I have 3 values, I don't like them. I might want to try to sell them or trade them for someone else, and I have $100 to do so. So keep it loose. Tell them they can do whatever they want, right? So for example, I might have my $100, and one of my values is popularity, and I'm like, I don't care about being popular. Let me see if I can sell this to someone else. Let me see who in the team might want to be popular or is popular. And maybe I can say, hey, I'll give you my popular value for $60. So whatever it is. Or I might love all mine and I might say, oh no, I'm going to keep mine. I don't want to trade or negotiate or barter, right? So it's their choice. But tell them they have their $100 and they can have a round of bartering, trading, or negotiating for other values or money, all right? Ding, 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 time is up. Hey, why'd you make your choices? Why'd you change for that? Or why did you hold your values? So again, if you're choosing either the Energizer or the main activity, kind of keep the time, watch the clock, how far you keep that conversation going, all right? Because there's 3 rounds to this one. All right, so now we take all their money back, we take their values back, we throw them back in the bag, and we go for round 2. Round 2 has no money, so you keep all the money. You and your co-mentors working as a team keep the money. Now you're going to, again, redistribute the bag. They're going to choose 3 new values, okay? So I'm going to choose 3 new values, and those are my 3 new values. I have no money now. But in round 2, you're going to tell the students, okay, now you have your 3 values, now you have to sacrifice 2 values. You can only keep 1. Wow, when we're talking about making decisions for our life, this is kind of good. So you're really getting them all warmed up. You're really getting that mind strength. Remember, mind strength. So let's say I'm looking at mine right now. I have reputation as kind and generous, loyal friends, ability to make people feel safe. Wow. Gosh, which one would I give up? Ooh. Wow, this is hard. And you see how hard it is? Reputation as a kind and generous person, having loyal friends, or ability to make people feel safe. I think I'm going to get rid of ability to make people feel safe, even though that's really important to me. And loyal friends, that's really, really important to me. And I guess I'll stick with, out of the 3, if I had to choose one, I'd keep reputation as a kind and generous person. So that would be the one I'd keep. So you see how difficult it was, and you see it was challenging my critical thinking skills. I had to think about this, and that's exactly the purpose of this game, is to get them to challenge their critical thinking skills and choose one. So again, you can have a discussion. Why did you sacrifice the 2? Why did you keep the 1? And so on and so forth. All right, so that was round 2. Quickly, round 3. Collect all the values, throw them back in the bag. Okay, now you redistribute the bag, and again, they blindly dig in the bag and choose 3 new values. But this time, here's a little spin on it. It's very similar to round 1, because they're going to get money in this round. But now you're disproportionately going to distribute the money. Somebody might get 20, somebody might get 60, somebody might get 40, whatever it is. Just go for it. Just randomly give out the money. Maybe you even give one person $100, right? Now they have their 3 values, so again, they can go back out and barter and trade for money or values. And let's see how that all ends up. Did they choose to maybe make more money and not worry about the values, or was it more important for them to have the values? And then again, you can have a great discussion about all that stuff. And we got some good questions to wrap that all up, which you know, how did you decide which values you kept or traded? Which values did it seem like everybody really wanted to hold on to? And so on and so on and so on. So keep your observation eye open and see what questions you might even come up with, all right? So that's value trading. So let's keep the stocks up. Let's help our kids choose some good values, because again, it affects the decisions that they're making, all right? Dow Jones up on this one. So now we're going to move to our main activity, which, as I said to you before, was called mind strength. And there's just 3 simple steps to this, right? You're going to start off with a good discussion. Again, as you know, in the true tradition of Los Angeles Team Mentoring Teamworks, we will provide those questions for you. So you're going to talk about values. So what in life is important to you? So what in life is important? Is it your family, your friends, your health, your pets, your accomplishments in life? Is it all of it? And then you're going to ask, so why are these things important first? So the why is really big here. My bunny ears, why, and underline why. So why do they think those things are important, right? Because we're going somewhere with this discussion. When you say one thing but do another, what does that tell people about your values, right? So if you say one thing, do another, what does that tell you about the values? And then what do values have to do with making decisions? So now we're really going to, start really having that discussion and really giving them some additional insight about why values are so important, right? So after you have that little discussion, you go over those 4 or 5 questions. Now you're going to read our definition of what values are. Each of us has our own set of values that help determine our way of life. You probably share many similar values with people you spend time with. That's probably very true, right? Like minds, associations, we probably are hanging out with people who share our values. As you get older, you meet new people, you try new activities and experiences. Maybe it's traveling or whatever, learning new cultures and about different people and getting those different perspectives. It could have an effect on your values, right? Or as I said, those experiences. It could be day-to-day experiences. Meeting someone from a disadvantaged community or whatever it may be, it could really affect how you look at things and see things differently. So that's just the point of that at the end of the day, that sometimes experiences can change our values over time. However, there are core values that are absolute values, and these tend to be unchanging, even as you grow in years and experience. For example, our core values can include treating others as you'd like to be treated, putting family first, not stealing or telling lies. And for some people, these are tied to very specific religious or spiritual views, or just, cultural upbringing. So there are some core values that probably will never ever change or unchanging, and that's okay too. But again, we're giving them the examples about values. Now, this activity is pretty simple. Now you're going to post some signs around the room, so try to post them so that it really creates kind of energy in your room and they have to get up and move around, right? And one is called important, one is called not important, one is called sometimes important, and it's very similar to I blank, like crossing the line, or four corners, for those of you who are returning mentors in our program. And really, you're going to read some value statements out loud, and what our students really have to do is stand under the sign that closely represents the way they feel about that value statement, right? So for example, I might say, let's say my mentors are reading out loud, going to college, and I might go, oh, going to college for me is very important, right? Some other students might say it's not important, some might say it's sometimes important, whatever. We never know how it's all going to shake out. But after they stand under the sign, you might want to ask them, why'd you choose that? Why is it important? And then if there are other students who chose other signs to stand under, you might ask them the why as well, right? And then here's some examples. Having lots of money, is that important? Becoming famous, being a leader, being happy with my life, being able to make a difference, choosing a career that pays well, being a role model for others, believing in myself, and so on and so on and so on. So you see there are different kind of value statements to generate a healthy discussion as they choose a sign that best reflects or represents their point of view on that. All right? So that's mind strength, all right? So keep that all in mind, that we're exploring how values affect our decisions and our way of life. And hopefully in these kind of activities like this, in the self-esteem and healthy relationship phase, as I said to you before, we're challenging those critical thinking skills so that hopefully our kids are making positive choices and decisions for their life, all right? Don't forget my 3 R's. Don't forget where we're at in the phase. Focus on those relationships, relationship, and come in there with that big open heart, all right? So don't forget to distribute your team bucks. The one big thing I learned, it's Will signing out.